a fuel consumption trial on this machine here. This is a Suzuki V-Strom 1000 Mark 1. We're going to fill the tank to the brim, do some miles, come back, refill to the brim, and then with the quantity, the volume of fuel used over those miles, we can work out the miles per gallon. Interestingly, there's a bit of a queue, but I'll just say before we get in there, I'm going to be filling with E5 fuel. That's petrol blended to a maximum of 5% ethanol. Even though this machine, and I've checked it, I've checked the manuals, is compatible with E10 fuel, which is the new 10% ethanol, which was unrolled at the beginning of September, the beginning of this month. I'll explain why later. If I go there, is that alright? Yeah. Just have to check in case someone gets annoyed. So I'm going to be using the V-Power E5 there in the middle. I'll better switch off the camera. So I'm just round the back of the garage, and you can see there that I've filled it up to the level of the baffle plate, the filler baffle. Can you see that? Am I pointing the camera down enough? Can you see that? Brimful, okay. I'll switch on and switch off away from the neck, just for safety. And I shall also reset the trip meter, of course. You can see it's full, 5 bars, brimful. No, mode, right, wrong button that was. There, set. Silly me. I only did this a few weeks ago as well, for the last fill. So we're set on 0 for the trip, as we can see. For anyone who hasn't seen, or can't remember what a V-Strom 1000 Mark 1 looks like, this is it here. I've had it since new, 2003. That's what she looks like. That's what it looks like. It's a bit of a behemoth, I must admit, but you know, I've had it for 18 years. Apparently there's been some rumour that we're going to be running out of fuel or something in the media today. So that's why there's a bloody great queue at the garage. Honestly, I didn't even know anything about that, otherwise I'd have done this on another day. But you might have seen before that my fuel gauge was flashing 0, well, on empty, you know, well, low should I say, 1 bar flashing. So I thought, right, I'll fill up anyway, and because I'm filling up, I'll do fuel consumption trial. So I don't think you can see on the screen very well, but between those 2 divots in the dial, dead in the middle of that is 55 miles per hour. and the figure just above the middle says 60 miles per hour. We're going to be doing some mixed roads. I wouldn't normally start off on this road, incidentally. It's just because of the manic queues at the garage. That's sort of brought me out in a different direction altogether. But we're doing it. I won't film it all, don't worry. It'll take about an hour or so. I'll do about 60 odd miles just so we get a fair crack. Like I say, mixed roads. We'll be going mainly on A roads, but some of the A roads, just to give us a mixed shot of road types, some of the A roads will be going through villages. I observe the speed limits anyway. It's not just because I'm filming myself. Now, why E5 fuel this time? Well, it's because of this. I've got several motorbikes, and I will be winterizing this one soon, i.e. laying it up over winter. And the more ethanol you have mixed in a fuel, the greater its propensity for attracting water. We've all been using E5 ethanol 5% fuels over the last 5 or 10 years, and even though this one is compatible with E10, just because I'm laying it up on the winter, I wanted to put E5 in. If I had a chance of putting in 0 ethanol, which you might now call super unleaded or something, I'd do that too, but there isn't any in town. 5% is the lowest we go. I want to get rid of this Audi guy on my tail. So he's gunning to come past me at some point. Oh, didn't want to kill that poor thing. Red squirrels are my favourite, of course. They're all living creatures. Have their place. And roads are the imposition on nature, not the other way round. Nature was there before tarmac. I know it sounds obvious, but oh, there's another one that didn't get away. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's hard to do, I know. But I think it's incumbent upon us, motorists, to drive at a speed whereby we can give them a fighting chance. You know, not just go like the bloody clappers and mow everything down. I hope it's not affecting the camera lens too much. Oh, be bright now. Bit of blue sky up there. Yeah, so that's the story with the E5 versus the E10. The other thing I want to mention was this. I shall not be exceeding 56 miles an hour. Why is that, you may ask? Well, that is because, sort of historically, and I'm talking probably 30 or 40 years, fuel consumption for motor vehicles has always been sort of rated at urban, extra urban, and then something else I can't remember the name of. But the extra urban cycle was 56 miles an hour. So to give everything comparative relevance, that's what I've been doing. Plus, as it happens, on the free wind, 4,000 RPM, which is exactly halfway to the red line, 4,000 RPM equates exactly to 56 miles per hour with the gearing that it comes with as standard. So, to give it comparative relevance to the free wind, 56 miles an hour has to be. Same with the W800. Sure, you know, anyone could snick it into second gear and go revving off at high velocities. But what does that tell you? That you just burn more fuel if you go faster, or don't use the right gear. So some of these roads so far have been rural, haven't they? Properly rural, you know, even though they're A roads. I've got a big hill to climb up yet. It's only 1000 cc. Will it make it? I'll have to get a bit of a run up. I'm only joking. Oh dear, there's a puncture there. I expect. Well look, we've done exactly 11 miles so far. Oh man. Thank you. Thank you, kind sir. Oh madam. That was gracious. So yeah, big hill here, big hill. Sturdy bank campsite. That'll need sort of checking out, won't it? Beautiful. Oh, just incidentally, this is a non-ABS bike. So the sort of emergency slowdown, almost emergency stop for the squirrel, I thought was rather controlled. can't remember if the roads were slightly damp there or not. Trailies. Yes, no ABS. So yes, that's the 56-mile-an-hour philosophy. And we'll be joining some faster roads soon, but this is like the should we say the rural A-road element of the journey, and we're up to 15 miles now. Might be about 17 or 18 by the time we get down to the faster roads. We'll see. I'm just going to give you a bit of a close-up of the speedo, just so you can see the relative position of the figures. 140 there, you see. Just because being a wide angle camera, I don't think you can see it very clearly. It's sat upright. Oh, I forgot to say as well, as part of this benchmarking, if you like, I also checked the tyre pressures just before I came out. I had to put £3 in the front, £3 in the bow, and £1 extra in the stern, fore and aft, just to bring it up to spec. I also freshly oiled the chain, just so she's at her best in this regard. And I can also affirm that none of the brakes are binding. The wheels spin as freely as you could wish them to. There is no disc pad binding or anything like that going on, is what I'm saying. So everything is tickety-boo. 17 miles. I think I'll just pull over and just check there aren't any moisture raindrops on the camera lens, mucking it up just before we join the main road, which is just up there. It won't be a minute. Okay, I think that's good and clear. I'll be joining the faster road in a second. Once we get up to about above 45 or 50 miles an hour, the audio deteriorates, so I won't be able to do any talking. There we are, 17.2 miles of sort of extra rural. Is that right? And now we do the bit of speed. Some of these cars come around here. I think it was Le Mans. God's sakes. miles an hour. Oh, shucks. Yeah, so that's the brakes, the tyres, the chain. Why oil the chain? Because I think with a freshly oiled drive chain you can get better transmission efficiency, of course, and maybe between a crusty old chain, half going rusty, and freshly lubricated and sweet, you know, who knows, that might be 5 or 10% better efficiency for all I know. But freshly oiled on this today. And yes, a 56 mile an hour thing even means on dual carriageway. Where are we at now? 22.7 miles. .8 miles. I think we'll have to do a bit more. The green light, when you see it, incidentally, is the overdrive. That's 6th gear. Okay, we'll turn around here I think, and hopefully we'll just get to about 60 miles by the time I get back to the garage. And yes, the green light, not this one, the indicator light, but the other green light is overdrive gear, which is 6th gear, which it will just about pull without labouring at 56 miles an hour on the flat. I wouldn't use 6th gear going uphill, for example, or on slower driving. So would it be nice to do 70 on our dual carriageway? Of course it would. But you've got to have standards and yardsticks, haven't you, to do these comparisons with. Otherwise it would be unregulated mayhem. Or meaningless. Yay. We have indicators. So I've talked about E5, E10 and how I want to get a good glurp of E5 in this, ready for the, you know, overwintering, you know, in a week or two. So what's it going to be? Yeah, I think by the time we get back to the garage it's going to be about 60 odd miles. I hope we can agree that that might be a sort of fair assessment. We've had some mixed roads, sort of rural and then principal A roads. There's been some stop and starts, of course, and the aim throughout has been not to exceed 56 miles an hour. There's been times, of course, when you need to go slower, speed limits, roundabouts, sometimes just the corners in the road, but 56 maximum. So that limits kind of wind pressures that you're trying to force the machine and rider through, doesn't it? a drag. So if anybody wants to have a guess at what the fuel consumption is likely to be, I can't really offer any prizes as such. Well, no prizes worth anything really, but how about this? The person who guesses closest can have a free ticket to watch my next video. The person second closest to guessing the figure can have tickets to watch my next 2 videos. And the third prize is free tickets to watch my next 3 videos. That is an unrepeatable offer. And with regard to the 56 mile an hour thing on dual carriageways, there were actually some people who, you know, were just happy enough to kind of overtake, and there were some people that, you know, I was sort of keeping up with for a while. You know, it's nice to do 70, and I would do normally, but like I say, for the purposes of this fuel economy, fuel consumption comparison, I've stuck to 56 max. There we are, coming in for the final leg now. Yeah, it's going to be 60 something miles. Any guesses, anyone? Make your mind up, time. Only got a couple of miles to go. First prize, free ticket to watch my next video. Second prize, 2 free tickets to watch my next 2 videos. Third prize, 3 tickets. Oh dear. It's been windy today. But presumably it's been behind me as much as it's been blowing in my face, because I've gone out and come back kind of thing. Yeah, blowing a hoolie. And I thought it was going to rain actually, but it hasn't. Well, only a little bit of spit here and there. Ah, for God's sakes. Do you know what? It looks like all this flipping petrol nonsense is still going on. For goodness sakes. Crazy. Anyway, we'll soon find out what the answer is. Now hopefully I'll get to the same pump from the same side, so that the lean angle and the slope angle is all the same to give the most accurate brim to brim jobby. 62.7 miles at the moment, and if I wasn't dead set on the E5 fuel I'd just probably move on and fill up anywhere, but some petrol stations don't have E5. I think Tesco does, and this Shell garage. Morrison's only has E10, Asda only has E10. I think that's pretty much it for petrol stations in Barra. We're still on 6 bars of fuel, incidentally. Oh man, that didn't sound good, did it? Of all the days, it's the day when there's some bloody flipping fuel fluster going on, which will all be a load of bollocks anyway. Oh dear. If I go there, is that alright? Oh. If I go there, is that alright? We are 62.8 miles, E5 95 octane. I better turn off my camera, hadn't I? Oh, blinded myself. Once again, full to the baffle. Do you see that there? I hope you can see it on this camera angle. Blinding, that torch is. Dear me, that is blinding. Oh, steady on old chap. Ah, dearie golly. Full to, this is 62.9, but in actual fact it's just clocked over to the 9, coming round from the forecourt to the back, so I'm gonna, it was 62.8, can you see this in the camera, on 4.84 litres, so that's going to be just over a gallon. 62.8. Should we do some sums? Oh dear. So we've done 62.8 miles on 4.84 gallons. Wrong. Litres. 4.84 litres. That'll paint a different picture, wouldn't it? Deary gosh. Deary gosh. So look, you probably can't see this in the imperial gallons there. Imperial gallons to litres, 4.546. I've written that down there. So 4.84 Hope you're seeing this in the camera, if the helmet angle is okay for it. Divided by 4.546 equals 4.84 divided by 4.546 equals, look at that, 1.06. I'm going to call it 065, just rounding up, gal. 1.065. So now, how many miles per gallon? We've got 62.8 miles divided by 1.065 gallons equals, oh, this is tenths, isn't it? This is tenths. 62.8 divided by 1.065 equals, not bad, is it? Not bad. 58.967. I'm going to round it up to 97. 58.97. Let's call it 59 mpg. Is everyone happy with that? Is everyone happy with that proposition? It's been stop-start, rural A road, and then principal A road. I've been limiting myself to 56 miles an hour for reasons I hope I have explained sufficiently. (1000cc) at 998. Several stop starts. Could it be that if one was going on a motorway, which isn't stop start at all once you're on there, and going at 70 miles per hour, you know, the legal limit, could one expect to get close to the same, do you think? Who knows? Maybe it's something I should try sometime. You can see I've got a tail pack on. Other than that, I haven't got luggage or anything, you know, so that's that. Let's just check again. 62.8, and I explained it just clocked over to the 0.9, coming around to the back. 4.84 litres. 4.84 divided by the litres per gallon gives just over 1 gallon. 62.8 divided by just over 1 gallon equals 59 mpg. No, that's not bad, is it? Obviously I wouldn't get that if I was commuting, and I know I don't get that when I'm commuting. For work and back, which is a mile each way in town, so 30 mile an hour maximum. Stop start, roundabouts, junctions. The engine doesn't even get properly warm. 1 mile each way. Commuting, proper urban commuting, more like 30 miles per gallon, maybe 35, you know.
See you soon.
So that's what we have, 59 mpg. I think we've concluded that experiment. Call it quits there. Call it quits, eh? Just in case anyone thinks, well, what a pampered softy townie to be putting his bike away for the winter. Well, let me just explain. There's the bike, it's being winterized. It's a big Behemoth, 1000cc. I find that as soon as it turns to autumn and there's leaf debris on the roads, and then later on obviously snow and ice, it's just too big to contemplate picking up if you ever have a lay down in such conditions. So I winterised that because it's such a big Behemoth route. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up motorcycling for it. Oh no, all year round me. We're back on the W now, just for a few more weeks or a month maybe. And what I'm doing here, this is a second trip. I've got hedge trimmings in there, bit of old garden furniture, some old fluids in there, and here just taking some old kitchen appliances and bits of plastic to be properly disposed of. The municipal tip, the council tip. So that's what's going on here. So yeah, I don't give up motorcycling for the winter. All year round me. I'll give it a few more weeks on the W, and because it's posh and bonny, you know, one of the top dogs in the fleet, once it starts turning to snow and ice and salt, more importantly, it'll then be the free wind time, because, you know, that's 20 years old, 21, becoming up 22 years old. That doesn't mean I don't cherish it. It's just a winter machine, you know. Alright, thanks for watching, that's been cool. Yeah, V-Strom fuel consumption. Wasn't bad, was it? Wasn't bad at all.